Hi guys, so long time no see. I know that I just disappeared for a little bit, but now I'm back with another look. So this look is for Valentine's Day. If you want to go ahead and kind of amp it up a little bit more, then this is perfect. It is going to be like a very sultry, smoky. Definitely you have your glitter in there. It's very pink toned. I personally like this look a lot. I'm very, very proud with how it turned out. So if you guys want to see exactly how I did it, then just keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my Morphe Eyebrow Pencil. This is the shade Java. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill in my brows as usual. And what I like about this pencil too is that the color opacity is actually very rich. So you get a full amount of color in there without having to do so much work. Carve them out, I'm gonna go ahead and take my concealer from Tarte. This is the Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium Honey. Going to go ahead and take a little flat brush. This is by Morphe. This is like literally one of their oldest brushes ever. It does not even have a name. I'm gonna go ahead and just carve these babies out. Make it last forever. Stop in time. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of drag the color down so that when we buff it out, it all blends in with my eyeshadow base. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take the Morphe 335 brush. It's actually gonna be like a fluffy concealer brush. I'm gonna go ahead and just blend all of that out. And you could always take the concealer down and use it as an eyeshadow primer. However, I'm gonna use something different. So I'm only gonna go ahead and blend it kind of halfway. So that way once I put in the eyeshadow primer, it all just blends in together. Now for my eyeshadow primer, I'm actually gonna dip into my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And I've really been liking this product a lot lately. What it does is that it works as a base for all my eyeshadows. I'm also using that M335 brush as well. One thing that I've been doing a lot lately too is I'm extending the eyeshadow primer out a little bit, just because I personally don't know exactly how far I will end up blowing out the look. Lately, it's kind of like I start to do a look and I think it's gonna be something and then it turns out to be something else. So I'm just trying to avoid having to put like more eyeshadow primer after I'm already done with the eyeshadow, if you guys get what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna go ahead and from the get-go kind of apply a little bit more primer than what I think I need, just in case. And for the eyeshadows, I wanted this look to be very more on the pinkier side. I still wanted a little bit of sultriness in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and dip into an oldie but a goodie. If you guys have been in the makeup game for so long, then you guys know that this is one of the most popular palettes like out there by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is gonna be the Modern Renaissance palette. And what I like about this is like it's a perfect Valentine's Day palette. Like, I mean, you have pinks, you have reds in there, you also have your shimmers, more neutral shades just in case you want to go a little bit more natural. This is also perfect for like weddings, for more bridal makeup as well. But I figured that today I will be using it for this Valentine's Day look, and I want to do something smoky with liner as well. This palette is like perfect. I think I'm gonna dip into the shade Burnt Orange first, and that's gonna go right on my crease. I'm gonna take an N441 brush by Morphe, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run that along my crease. And this is gonna be my transition shade because I wanted this look to be blown out and smoky right at the top. So I'm just gonna use this to blend all the other shades and as a base. Gonna go ahead and take the remainder. Basically kind of cleaned out the brush a little bit, and I'm just going to use this to blend out all of the edges. Please forgive the funny faces I'm making. This is literally all just to get in the crevices of my eyes so that everything is blended smoothly. Again, we're just choosing that burnt orange shade. It's going to be our transition. It's not going to be our main color, so we're going to be adding more colors on top of that. I'm going to go ahead and take the M433 brush, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it into Love Letter, which is a very pinky shade. It's like a very reddish pinky shade. It's definitely not red, but it's definitely not pink, if you get what I'm saying. It's like a good mix. So we're gonna go ahead and place that right in the crease where we applied the burnt orange shade. Now I'm keeping that lower than burnt orange so that way there's a transition. Stop in time. Yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, hold tight. Chemicals. Now, as I said, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of wing this look just a little bit because we are gonna be doing a little bit of a smoky liner. So I kind of want to blow this out. I'm taking the same brush with literally no product. I'm just pulling whatever's on my eyes out into a little bit of a wing. I don't want it to be humongous either, but I just want that subtle pull. I'm also taking a little bit of the other brush that I was using before and using that to help pull the product out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and dip into Love Letter again and kind of layer the color until I'm pretty much satisfied with how it looks. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just do the same thing again, just pull the eyeshadow out into a little bit of a wing. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and dip into the shade Primavera, and I'm gonna use my ring finger for that. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that straight into the eyelid. And I wanted this look to be a little bit more on the softer side, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of blend Primavera with the transition shade, so that way there's a nice soft blend. Then I'm dipping into Love Letter one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that right in the outer corner of my eye. Also using it to blend a little bit of that Primavera shade. And as I said, we're gonna go ahead and still wing this out. Just pulling the color, dragging it out. Something weird that I'm noticing is that Primavera actually looks a lot darker on top of Burnt Orange rather than on top of Primavera, which I'm not mad about, but definitely like a weird discovery. Reason why I'm also blending Love Letter with Primavera is because Primavera is slightly too bright right now, so I want to go ahead and tone it down. Even though we're going to put another pigment on top, I still want to tone down Primavera just by a little bit. Now, before I move on to anything else, I want to top this all off with a little bit more shimmer, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Diamond Lights finisher. This is actually by Artist Couture in the shade Spotlight Glitz. What I like about this product is that literally it just looks like glitter on your eyes without being glitter, if you get what I'm saying. So just to prove my point, I'm gonna go ahead and take some in my ring finger, kind of tapping off the excess, and I'm gonna go ahead and just, oh my god, look at how beautiful that is. And literally just packing this on the lid. And what I like about this pigment too is, let's say that if you just want to wear like a matte shadow with a little bit of shimmer on top, but you don't want to do so much so that the eye doesn't get too heavy, you can literally just do like a matte transition shade all over the lid and then pat this on top, and it looks like you have more than one eyeshadow on, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like this literally takes your whole look to the next level. I'm gonna go ahead and take that M433 with a little bit of the other products that we were using and kind of blend that out a little bit, but not too much because I don't want the glitter to get everywhere, but at the same time I want a softer haze. Now for my liner, I'm actually gonna go ahead and take this alkaline pencil by Urban Decay. So I kind of did this one side and I kind of went a little more exaggerated with the color, so I'm gonna go ahead and repeat what I did on this side. On this side, so what I did, I literally took the exact same flat brush that we've been using. By the way, this is a Morphe M432. It's just like a flat liner brush. I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Love Letter, and I'm actually gonna use it to smoke out the liner a little bit more because I didn't want it to be overall brown. Like I want it to be a little bit more burgundy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that on top. It's also gonna help with smoothing down the liner and smoking it out a little bit more. And then on top of that, I'm actually gonna go ahead and take a little bit more of Cypress Umber and then use that right in that outer corner just to add a tiny bit, just like the littlest bit of dimension. I'm actually even mixing it with a little bit of Love Letter so that it's more burgundy rather than brown. And then I'm taking the M506 brush, that's the one that I'm using, and because it's slightly pointy, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of circular motions, kind of like drag that out into a little bit more of a wing. Also kind of dipping into the 35V palette. I'm dipping into this burgundy shade just to help with the blendability of the liner a little bit. And to really add some depth, I'm dipping into the Morphe 35V palette. Again, I'm taking just a little bit of this black right here in this corner and pretty much kind of tight lining the top lash line, but very, very, very close to the lash line. I'm actually not going inside, I'm going outside. You'll see what I'm saying is just so that my natural lashes blend in with a liner a little bit better. Now you see the difference. One of them looks a little bit more smoky, it looks a little bit more even. Also, the lashes do look fuller. This one does need to be emphasized a little bit more, so I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Okay, so I did have a little bit of fallout underneath my eye, so I went ahead and I cleaned that up. I also kind of sharpened up the outer corners of my eyes a little bit. Even though we're not going for like that cat eye illusion, I still wanted to go ahead and straighten it up a little bit. We're gonna smoke it out after everything's been done. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on the base. So first things first, primer, always. We're gonna go ahead and use Pores No More by Dr. Brandt today. And I love this primer. It is really, really good, and it's been doing great and amazing wonders for my skin. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just focus that mainly on my cheek area and a little bit of my forehead as well, because I do tend to get the most texture, especially around my nose. I get a lot of pores and I get a lot of texture, so I want to go ahead and cover that up. You see I'm kind of massaging everything in. What I love about this primer as well is that it does keep my skin looking slightly matte throughout the rest of the day. Now, this is a mattifying primer. It's just that I personally don't like a full matte finish. So I always tend to compensate with like hydrating sprays and a good moisturizer underneath. So it still gives me that little bit of a glow that I want without looking too oily. So the mattification of the primer kind of tones it down a little bit, if you get what I'm saying. I'm gonna go ahead and just press the primer in with my hands. Gonna go ahead and kind of, and it looks smoother. I don't look too dry. The texture on my nose is pretty much gone. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on the foundation. By the way, guys, we're gonna put on lashes. We're just gonna do that afterwards. So for my foundation, lately I've actually been doing a combination of two. I've been using the Il Makiage Woke Up Like This Flawless Base Foundation, and I'm mixing it with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Now this is in the shade Caramel Beige, and then this one is in the shade 140. Now reasons why I mix these two together is this one's actually a little too golden for my skin, and this one just evens everything out. And also, I don't know what it is about this combination, but like it's just so perfect for my skin. It just makes me look super smooth, flawless. It gives me that matte finish, but still with a little bit of a glow. Like, it's really hard to explain, but this is godsend perfect. I'm just gonna do a little 1, 2, then shake my L'Oreal. I'm like literally running out of this foundation already, guys. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and take my little brush. I literally do not even know what this is. What is this? It's from a brand called Farrah in the style 35E. I literally just take this and mix these together and then apply it straight to my skin. Now you can always apply your foundation with a brush if you so prefer. This foundation, I have applied it with a brush and it works perfectly fine, but I kind of like using a beauty sponge for it. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and use. I look like a total complete mess right now, but this is where I'm gonna take my Morphe beauty sponge and just smooth everything out. And I'm being mindful of the shape of the eyes as well, so I'm very carefully stamping the sponge along the line so that way I don't smudge it. And for my bronzer, I actually kind of switched up the game a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and cream contour. Now, I'm gonna use something that I've been using for years now, and I absolutely love it. I think it's an item that's been slept on. This is gonna be the Graftobian Cream Contour Stick. This is the shade Pecan. Now, it is a cream product. Actually, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take another one of those Morphe M35 brushes, M335s. I'm gonna go ahead and go like this around the perimeter of my face. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my M523 by Morphe, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend the cream contour out. Don't worry if you go too far with the bronzer, because that's why we did the contour first. We're gonna go ahead and do highlighting afterwards. So it doesn't really matter if you take your contour a little bit too far, because we're gonna go ahead and brighten it up with a concealer afterwards. And don't mind my facial hair, I'm actually trying to grow out my beard. So, you know, she's gonna be a little hairy or whatever today, but like, we stand a bearded queen. Go ahead and continue all of that down my neck as well. So to highlight and conceal, I'm actually gonna go ahead and take my Magic Star Concealer by Jeffree Star in the shade C16. I'm gonna go ahead under my eyes to brighten, and then forehead. And I'm gonna take with my Morphe sponge and just blend all of that out. I'm even gonna go ahead and take the rest and stamp it underneath my contour so that I have a sharper jawline. Now that we blended everything out, I kind of want to go ahead and just brighten this look up a little bit. So I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape again, right in the inner corner, bridge of the nose, and middle of the forehead to brighten up just a tad bit more. I don't want to be too exaggerated, even though, you know. And for powder, you guys already know the drill. Laura Mercier, we're gonna go ahead and use this to set everything. I'm also gonna take the powder and use that to bake under my contour as well. Okay, so I went ahead off camera while the powder kind of set on my face. I did quite a few things. So I applied my lashes, and these are from Flutter Lashes. They're in the style Captivating, which is appropriate for this look. I kind of redid my brows off camera as well using the exact same Java pencil. Now that this has time to settle in, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my bronzer and finishing off the rest of my face. For my bronzer, I'm gonna take my favorite Fenty Beauty bronzer, and I'm taking the Sephora Collection 204 contour and highlighting brush. Just gonna go ahead and give my face a little color, because this powder does wash me out a little bit. Even though it's translucent, it still has a little bit of a highlighting feel to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add some more color. To go in, go ham, and pat this. I like to do a little mixture of patting and swiping, so that way I'm pressing the color in there and I'm also blending it out. I'm gonna go ahead and take this exact same powder, bring it down my jawline. Taking my Pseudo-Fix powder by MAC, I'm gonna go ahead and use that in the center of my face to add a little bit more coverage and to also brighten up as well. This powder is really smoothing as well, so it's gonna filter me out a little bit, because again, I do have a lot of texture. Also, I do want to say, yes, this is quite a lot of makeup. However, I personally do not mind. If you want to rock a beat face, by all means, boo-boo, do you. Cake that face up, make it look smooth. Layer that foundation, layer that contour. The world is your oyster, live your life, mama. I'm gonna go ahead and add that alkaline pencil in my waterline. Then I'm gonna take the same brush that we've been using before with some of the colors that I used on the top lash line and use that to smudge the liner at the bottom. To blend all of that out. So, we're gonna move on to what I think is literally one of my favorite steps in this whole entire look, because it just brings everything together. I'm gonna go ahead and take my favorite MAC Prep and Prime spray. This is Fix Plus. I'm gonna go ahead and just pretty much drench my whole face in this. I'm gonna take my Morphe E27 brush and literally just go down the bridge of my nose. And I like to start off at the very beginning of the brow, just because it makes my nose look a little bit smaller and narrower. I'm gonna go ahead and just slightly bring that down the sides. So now that my nose is contoured, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to blush. And for that, I'm actually gonna be using the Morphe 8W palette. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade Goals, and I'm using an angled fluffy brush by Morphe. And this is actually from their Gunmetal collection. It used to be in existence like a really long time ago. Honestly, one of the best brushes that I've ever used for a blush. I'm gonna dip into Goals and apply that on my cheeks. What I like about this shade too is that it does have a little bit of a highlighter in it, so you also get a little bit of a glow. I'm actually gonna go ahead and take a little bit of MUA mixed with Witty. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of mix these two together as well, just to make this look not so pinky. And for my highlighter today, I'm gonna be taking the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder, and this in the shade Cocoa Bling. I'm gonna take my Morphe N510, dip into the highlighter, and just, whoo, child. And truly, I'm not scared of applying too much of this highlighter because on camera, it picks up beautifully. I know that in person, it does look a little bit too extra, but for video purposes, I'm actually putting a lot more than what I would normally put on. Also take that exact same highlighter and kind of swirl my brush around and bring it down my temples into a little bit of a C shape. And I'm gonna take whatever is left and just swipe it across. Just taking a little bit and putting it down my nose. Just like that. And then I'm gonna take the Morphe E36 brush, which is a very fine pointed brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and place some of Cocoa Bling in that inner corner to really open up my eyes. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and put it underneath my brow, just to highlight that edge right there. And Cocoa Bling is very powerful, so make sure that you don't put as much. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm trying to be a little bit more subtle with this. If I'm being honest, the word subtle does not exist on my channel. T. I think I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this burgundy shade one more time and really intensify that lower lash line a little bit more. Before finishing the lips, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel in the shade Ebony. I'm gonna go ahead and just place that on my brows to add a little bit more color and to also separate them a little bit more, give them more structure. I'm gonna go ahead and take the exact same brow gel and bring that down my mustache. Now, because we do want the main focus to be on the eyes, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep the lips simple. So I'm taking the Too Faced Lip Injections Extreme Gloss Plumper. Just gonna, you know, do a little. So that is it for this Valentine's Day inspired makeup look. I really hope that you guys liked it. Now, if you guys did, of course, make sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. If you guys want to go ahead and follow me on other social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those links will be down below, as well as the list of products and brushes that I used in this video. So I really hope to see you next time, and bye!